talking about? Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 145. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Hey guys, doing? I had a great week of showcases. We had the Direct, we had the PlayStation State of Play. Xbox is on the docket for this coming Thursday. So how was your guys' gaming week? Burley, I'll start with you. Yeah.
My gaming week was pretty good. I finished up Ratchet and Clank on the Steam Deck, Rift Apart. It was nice to play that game again. It was a lot of fun. I finished up Sea of Stars on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Got the ending.
Ooh, nice.
I honestly, if you guys are looking for a turn-based RPG, highly cannot recommend that game enough. We will be. The plan is I'm going to get some footage and do an extra take on that very soon.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and Burley, of course, he also helped kickstart this game. And you should go to a particular graveyard, Burley, where some gravestone has some writing on it. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so for Kickstarter backers of a certain tier, you could get a gravestone. And you can, the nice thing is they did it because there's so many graves. You can input numbers, and like on my Twitter page, I have a tweet that gives out my grave number, and you can put in the number, and it'll tell you where to go, and it'll light up my grave, and you can go there, and you get a little message.
All right, and welcome on in, Tuil, one of our patrons. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode. So, Carl, how was your gaming week? I know you're playing Starfield. I was playing it too. So, yeah. How are you enjoying it so far?
Oh, I mean, I'm loving it. I want to play more, but I really don't have enough time. I'm very disappointed that I just haven't been able to really get to enough of it. Like, that's all I've been trying to play. It's just not enough time, and with all that stuff going on, work and the kid and the house and whatever. So.
Yeah. Life stuff.
Yeah. I think I got like maybe 19 hours. 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've got about 60 hours in now, and I'm in New Game Plus. I started New Game Plus. So we're not going to talk about Starfield in this episode, everyone. I just want to let you know, because next week we have a very special guest, Lord Cognito from the Iron Lords podcast and Defining Duke on Last Stand Media. He is going to be joining us next week in next week's episode, and it's going to be dedicated to Starfield. So we're going to be talking Starfield throughout that episode. So please join us for having our special guest, Lord Cognito, join us next week. So we're really looking forward to having him on the show with us. So yeah, we will be talking about Starfield a lot next week. So stay tuned for that. So we're really excited for that.
With Starfield.
Really?
I've got about 10 hours in it.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, no. Well, I've also got Sea of Stars I've been doing and other stuff. But you will have some footage next week that I have recorded for the game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Those, you need to put a good chunk into this game, because I barely scratched the surface. I even feel, in 19 hours. So,
it took me about 40, 49, 50 hours to get through the main story. And then after that, New Game Plus, we'll I don't want to dive into that because we'll talk about it next week. But it's Todd Howard is correct, basically. And everybody at Bethesda saying that this game truly opens up when you start New Game Plus. So, we'll be talking about that next week. But anyway, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about the Switch, of course, the Direct that just dropped. We're going to be giving our reactions to that, as well as the state of play. Of course, Burley, I know you're going to be excited to talk about Spider-Man 2 because we got some new news about Spider-Man 2. Really excited for that. So the state of play that dropped. And then our topic of the show, Unity, Disunity. I mean, boy, oh boy. I mean, the news that dropped this week, it was a big news about Unity, the game development engine. We're going to be talking about that. And of course, our picks of the week that are going to be dropping from the 18th through the 24th of this month. But before we get into all of that, before we get into the news, here is a brief word about where you can find this podcast in video and audio formats.
Discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearenaproductions for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version, it will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Productions, where you can join and chat with the Arena Productions community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena Productions. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, so it's time to get into, the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Direct that dropped just the other day. The games that we've been playing segment that we usually do, we're gonna save that for next week because we're delving into Starfield still, and next week's episode is going to be huge on Starfield. So let's talk about the Direct, guys. Lots to
talk about,
lots to talk about. So let's go ahead and get this piece. Of course, we got Splatoon 3. We got some more content for Splatoon 3 coming. But guys, what were your impressions of the Direct? I mean, for me personally, lots of Mario. Excited about it, especially that Paper Mario that we saw at the end of the Direct. That's from the GameCube era. I mean, I'm really excited for that. The F-Zero 99. I'm really excited for that because F-Zero. I mean, I remember back in the day playing that, and now it's more of in a multiplayer style. So 99 players can race at the same time against each other. So anyway, Burley, I'll throw it to you first. What were your initial thoughts of this Direct?
I think this was a really, really good Direct. They had, even though there is quite a bit of Mario in this one, because I've heard people complain and groan on that, they had variety. They had stuff from a lot of different genres in a different companies, first party and third party. And I think they did a good job for the most part of, here you go, here's a game coming in the next, either it's coming in like a month or two, the next like 4 to 5 months, what you can expect from the Switch. It was just great so that way you've got people that have been Switch users from day one, or if you've been with the Switch just this year, or about to get or thinking of getting one. They're giving you reasons to get one. Yeah.
I know it's interesting. The thing about these Directs and just the way they're set up. I mean, I love them and all, but I mean, just having that guy on there snapping his fingers, like 20 times. It's a pet peeve of mine, but I mean, it's like I wish they would just get rid of that.
Well, that's been the marketing thing since 20.
I know, but I mean, it's just like, man, come on, stop that. I mean, just roll with the games. I mean, it was a great Direct. I mean, yeah, like you said, and it's interesting that they're throwing all these Mario games out there though, because they're setting up the Switch 2 next year, and probably, of course you got Super Mario Brothers Wonder coming, but I mean, there's probably going to be another mainline Mario game when the Switch 2
they're saving
drops.
that for sure.
Yeah,
Odyssey
they're
2 or
saving it,
whatever it's going to be, a new 3D.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's rumors we were going to get because apparently the new console was shown off at Gamescom, and there's been huge things they're thinking March we're going to get seen the new hardware, which wouldn't surprise me because you go at most of the releases in here were either this year or February.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did you guys think of that Tomb Raider announcement? The Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. I mean,
I didn't even look at that one.
It didn't look so good. I mean, I mean, it's like, of course, these games are very dated, but
yeah, they are.
I mean, who's gonna buy them? I mean, I don't think that's gonna sell very well. Burley, what do you think?
That one surprised me, as well as this showing up here, Prince of Persia. I didn't expect Prince of Persia to be at this state of play because out of all the platforms, what are you going to play this Prince of Persia on? Because
this type of game is something that Switch owners would be interested in, right? They have a lot of this type of stuff on there.
True, but like these Metroidvanias have not usually run well on the Switch. Like
from all the trailers I've been watching for the direct, because I didn't watch it live, I was at work. And I'm watching it on, like a bigger screen or like a higher resolution screen. Anything that isn't a Nintendo first party game that's going to be on multi-platforms does not look great. I got to tell you, like resolution wise, not good. I know it'll look better, I guess, on the smaller screen, right? That's the intention, but you can also use a Switch on the big screen. Man, Switch 2 is a long time coming. They really need it.
Yeah.
And then
of course,
saying he's got Prince of Persia pre-ordered for the Switch. I hope it runs good for you, man.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of especially you, Burley, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content that's going to be released? It's the final. I think it's the final bit of content that's being released for it, right? So.
Oh yeah. I really like that. 4 more characters. We were thinking only 1 because they showed. Because if you log into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there's only 1 more slot.
Yeah,
they had, so they did that, a little trick on us. I'm glad to. We only got 1 track. My only knock against it is they're just saying holiday this year. Okay, we're at the middle of September. Tell me, is this October, November, December? Just tell me a month at least at this point. you should have that down. But I really liked, we just passed through it, but the Super Mario RPG remake. Because we're all wondering, they showed some new thing. Yeah. You can reef challenge bosses. They're adding in combo attacks. That way, mixing and matching your party is really going to give you more options, because it's like, okay, if I have Bowser and Mallow in, and when I do this, let's try Bowser or Geno. Bowser and Peach. Just that's kind of stuff that was cool. And it's been shown in the Japanese version of the Direct that you can switch the soundtrack from the original to the remake, which is something I loved with the Spyro Reignited trilogy. So it's nice to see. It shows that they're really putting a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
It's got a great soundtrack. I can even remember the battle theme song in my head, just thinking about the game. I'm like, oh yeah, that was good. And I love that game. It looks really good. They also added there where you get the timed attack and it hits all the enemies. I feel like they added a couple things like that to make the game a little easier, because it's a legit Squaresoft RPG, from back in the day. So it gets pretty tough at times. It's one of those, like, you do got to grind a little bit. You got to level up. You got to make sure you're ready for it. Some of the bosses can be tough.
And you really got to time your hits.
Yeah, that's a important mechanic. And you'll see if Stars does it, and they make it so that they imply in Sea of Stars it's not that important, but it's pretty important, I'd say.
Oh, when you get to the later boss fights and they have multiple things you got to break, and so you can do 2 hits.
Yeah,
per your
you need
attack.
those 2 hits.
Trust me, unless you're using a lot of the relics that are like, take a lot less damage and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna need your time hits.
Yeah. Here you go, Carl. Here's your turn-based RPGs.
No, not this one. Not this one.
Not this one.
This is
is this the Atlas game?
No. This is the Saga something beyond. It's almost the Saga.
Yeah, Saga Emerald Beyond. Yeah,
Emerald, right? It's in that franchise, the Saga franchise. And to be honest, this one, it looks like a mobile game, and it is because it's also on iOS and Android. So, this one's not one I'm going to care about. But the other one they showed, the Atlas one, that looks good.
I knew you were going to like that one. Yeah, this was just such a weird thing. And that this is coming Valentine's Day. And then later on, it got announced it's coming to, I think, PC and PlayStation. I can't remember if this is coming to Xbox or not. But
it should, right?
If
look at that.
They were very talked about games back in the day.
Okay.
So you know
it's
what?
It's a big difference, but it still looks like it.
Well,
I'm curious to see.
Right?
What
I know, but that's the thing. I mean, it's like, how many people are going to actually buy this?
Yeah, I don't know. But
what's
the price? Did they say?
I don't think we have had price. Like
price,
if they put this at $19.99, I'll try it out and see what other features and stuff they have. Because they didn't talk much. Like they didn't talk of like, hey, we added these. Because like usually when they do these kind of collections and port them, they add little stuff to, especially since games of that era.
Yeah.
This one was a shock to me to see War Tales on Switch.
Yeah.
I played this on PC in early access. I played a lot of it. I love this game. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But
Twill says he thinks he said someone under 30.
Okay.
This
is one of those games where I watched the trailer and I'm like, boy, it doesn't look that good. I mean, it's not an amazing visual game anyway, but man, on the Switch.
Here's Contra. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this one. I'll play this again.
This is interesting. So this looks like a reimagining sort of the first game plus extra stuff, right? Because
I think they said it in the trailer.
They did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because like those bosses look like from the first game, but then they add stuff to it. It looks neat. I mean, again, not visually that impressive, but it looks like the Contra game that people would want to play versus the last one that came out, which was, oof.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't think you're when you're thinking Contra, you're thinking, I need the greatest graphical stuff.
Here we go. Now this is
Uden Chronicles.
Awful title, Unicorn Warlord. I don't know why, but boy, does it look great. I mean, the art is fantastic. You got this sort of like ogre battle, sort of like
this is the turn
where your characters are sort of moving in real time, but then when they meet, they'll fight, and they have this sort of like grid layout, right, for the units. If you see on the bottom there on the right, which is just like ogre battle. So I am very excited for this, and Vanillaware makes what did they make the other one, the 13 Sentinels, I think, which is supposed to be really good. Something I'd like to play, but one day. But this is also coming to Xbox, which I was very happy about. Atlas is really good for Xbox there.
One of the dark horses for me in this direct was that Dave the Diver. I mean, that looked pretty interesting. I mean, you're diving and then you're hunting for fish, you're hunting for sharks and all, and basically you're a sushi chef, and you have like a sushi restaurant, and you're making sushi and all for your customers. I thought that was pretty cool. So
that's actually a game on Steam.
That one already.
Yeah, on Steam. Yeah. So.
This Unicorn Overlord has a really awesome collector's edition that I am very tempted to buy. It's at like $130, but it comes with like a card game, like a full-fledged like 239 card game like thing, whatever it is. I want it.
So we're showing Luigi's Mansion 2 here. Go ahead, Burley.
This was one that was just a little weird to me. Like, we know this had been shown off, but they're saying, yeah, this is coming summer of next year.
Yeah,
like,
I don't understand that.
And they were saying like this was to come for like the winter, the upcoming like this direct. So this just felt so weird to me. And like this is a game of the Luigi Mansion series people are not the biggest fans of. They love 1, they love 3. 2, I never hear, other than the few people that are like, it's all right. I don't hear the greatest thing. So I'm interested to see if they're going to change stuff to help and make the game more enjoyable. Like, I've only played 3 and I really enjoyed 3, but from everything I hear, it's like, do I want to spend, because they're going to go pretty high price for this to put it on the Switch, because this is Nintendo. Yeah. And it's like, do I want to spend this, or let's be honest, just emulate?
Yeah. Well, to Wheel, he knows what's up. He's also into Unicorn Overlord and reminds him of Ogre Battle. Yep.
What did you guys think?
I just want to say hi to Sunny Slim, by the way, for showing up.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for showing up, Slim.
We talk a lot on Twitter, so he's cool people.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in, man. What did you guys think? I don't have it in the video footage here, but what did you think of the announcement of another code? I mean, because that basically was a DS game, and then another code R was for the Wii, and I don't think it was released in the West. I think it was only released in Japan. Yeah, so Japan. So I thought that was good. Interesting. Yeah,
it looks good. That looks like an interesting game. You know?
Yeah.
This is absurd, by the way. This is awesome. F-Zero 99. Like, I feel bad for F-Zero fans, because yes, they did get an F-Zero game, but this is not what anybody was asking for. And this is one of those, like, it's only on Nintendo Online services, and this thing will be look, this is going to be gone, and you'll never be able to play it again in a year. That's what's going to happen.
I feel for them, because like GX was like on the GameCube, and this is the last thing next game they're getting. And like Pac-Man 99 just died. Like, Nintendo's been weird with these 99 games. Like the Mario one, I think it was Mario 35, I really enjoyed, but it only got like a year life. Nintendo killed that one really quickly. The only one they're keeping is Tetris 99 up, because that one still is doing, I guess, doing well, and they have things they're selling on Tetris 99 to make some money. So, but like this, it's like I'll try this one day and just download it, but this is not something I can see me spending. Like, I'm not the biggest F-Zero guy, but I'm glad to see for people.
I like that thing they added where you like go up above the track. That's really cool. But like, just make a new game. Like, why make that? Like, make a new game that looks kind of like the Super Nintendo one, like it does, but isn't just an online only thing. Come on.
Here's 100 euros, Carl.
Look,
well, you got Mario Kart. Mario Kart just makes more money.
Maybe Switch 2 launches with an F-Zero, right? That's possible. Did we not have a date for Ayuden Chronicles until this trailer? Because I know they delayed it multiple times, and now into next year. But I mean, this game I'm very excited for as well, and this will be on Game Pass. So
yeah, we got Detective Pikachu, right, Burley? We got some of that as well. Yeah. So I mean, stuff that they talked about earlier on in the previous direct. Yeah, go ahead, Carl.
Did you guys know that Mario vs. Donkey Kong game is a GBA game? It's just a remake.
Yep. Yeah. They said they had said it early on.
They did, because like I saw that, I'm like, what is this?
See, I watched most of this live.
Yeah. And there you go. Here's the Cart Deluxe, Burley. Yeah. So.
Oh, I can't wait for this. I'm a huge.
What did they add? I heard Diddy Kong. Anyone else that I would
Diddy, know? Funky Kong, Daisy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are these people not in the game yet? Like Daisy not in the game, and Diddy. Who was the last one?
Peachette, which is Peach with a crown. Yeah. Which I know is just gonna. Sorry, it's Pauline. Not Daisy. Why am I?
Lord, Pauline.
Okay, sorry. I haven't.
Who the hell is Pauline? Peachette. Why? Who is Peachette? She just has a hat. That's it.
Yeah, she just has the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
$50 to wheel? Oh my god, for that Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake. Oh god.
Yeah,
Come on,
that's
Nintendo,
that's the
what are
one
you
thing
doing?
that's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
That's too much. That's too much.
Yeah, so
Welcome to
Mario
Nintendo.
Kart 8 is the final DLC, right? So when's the new one coming? When they gonna sell you all the same stuff again?
Now this
Mario Kart
was
9.
something
Here's the
that
Paper Mario. Yeah.
surprised me. Like Paper Mario games, people have been not happy with the last couple.
Mhm.
I think since the Wii, because that's when they changed the style. Because I know 64 is loved, but this is the most loved game in the series. A Thousand Years Door. I've never played this game. I've only played bits of 64.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, hey, get a chance to play it.
Yeah. And it'll run well on the Switch. Yeah, it's
Well,
It
yeah,
looks fun,
I would
yeah.
hope.
It looks fun. Yeah. So
This is the thing, like Tuil says that he saw the Game Boy version of that Mario vs. Donkey Kong for $60 used. So yeah, $50 better. Okay, yes, and of course it's a much better version.
Mhm.
But like, should that be the case? They just should, they have a Game Boy emulator, right? There's a Game Boy Advance emulator
On there, yes.
Just drop the game on there. Like you could have done that, but they wanted to, sell you a new one.
But you could say the same thing with Super Mario RPG Remake.
They should have, right? But again, they want to do the remakes. All right, I get it, but like, this is another one where someone in Discord pointed out like this game is very expensive if you want to get the original. So this will be a cheaper way to get it. But that's just because it's rare. It's a scarcity thing on those.
Ooh, I get to play as Bowser and just burn things. Alrighty.
Yeah.
But you can't blame them for the prices because people keep paying them. So what I mean,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you gotta vote with your wallet. Like the Pokemon DLC has come out. That's $50. After playing Scarlet and Violet and seeing that they still that hasn't upped the performance for the DLC. It's like, no.
Okay. So all in all, guys, what did you think overall of the direct? Yeah, I thought it was a pretty strong one. Yeah.
I don't, at this point, and I don't watch it live, but like I kind of don't even want to grade these things and like the stated play because they're always pretty much exactly what I expect, right? Like Nintendo, they got a bunch of first party stuff that's coming. It's always like a certain range coming soon, right? And then there'll be like a couple of things that are a little bit farther down, but they're not doing that big flashy show in most of these, right? Nintendo did have the big direct at one point, and I don't know how you determine like this one's the big one, this one's not. Like the average Nintendo direct is this, and it's good if you like this Nintendo stuff.
If you're talking about just presentation quality, I mean, I'm going to go back to my pet peeve from earlier, what I said. I mean, the guy sitting there snapping his finger like 10 times. I mean, they could cut that out and they could put some more games in there. I mean, but with the games that they showed, I mean, the quality of the games that they had, I mean, you're getting games from, previous generations that are being, ported into the Switch now and some newer games. And I thought it was all in all a pretty solid direct. So, I mean, just get the click that get rid of that.
Well,
format, though,
I know it's the format, but it just drives me crazy seeing Takahashi-san doing that all the time. I just know.
Oh, you're lucky I can't do it, or else
please. Yeah, but it was a great direct. So,
well, Nintendo, just for a quick thing, they know what their audience wants. They know how to communicate to their audience.
Yeah.
So they just know that's the thing they do well with these directs. And it was nice to see. We didn't talk about in the direct. They did give us the Xenoblade Chronicle 3 amiibos. They've given us the release date in January, and the Sora amiibo, which people have been waiting for 2 years on an announcement, is coming some point in 2024. So it's like
Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, Nintendo and Tears of the Kingdom amiibos for Ganondorf and Zelda.
Yeah.
Like 5 months after the game came out.
I know.
It's like
those should have been day one. Yeah.
Yeah. Or that month. Yeah. Even that month I would have been.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to another presentation. And some of the games that we're showing were a little more adult-like in nature, obviously. And of course, the PlayStation State of Play. So from the other day. So let's go ahead and look at that one. And this was pretty interesting. So you get this guy here, the Baby Steps game that's coming. I mean, I was like, at first I'm like, what the hell is this game? What are they trying to do here? So it's coming next year, I guess. But I guess you're going to be able to play some type of a demo of it at some point. So, but
this is that kind of indie where it's like sort of, I guess, like physics based ish, and the walking thing, and it's silly, I mean, I'm sure sure. This is a weird game to open with, but it looks like it could be fun.
Well, it was more like the comedic nature of it all, the guy falling on his face and everything, and slipping around, kind of like PlayStation State this year. You think about it.
I really like this grappling hook bit, though. I thought that was pretty cool.
The grappling bit was cool, but I mean, it's like stumbling and making some blunders here and there this year. I guess just making like light fun of it in a sense, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that was their intention.
No, of course not. No,
that was not their intention.
But if we're bringing up blunders, I will still bring up that price increase for the PS Plus stuff. Man, that was terrible.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough of a stink man about it because I guess they're just gonna accept it and pay it.
Yeah.
No, there has been a stink on it. There's a lot of people cutting back. I know a few people.
We'll see, because a lot of people are saying that. Yes. Will it be enough numbers for them to really do something about it? Because those price increases were huge.
Okay, question for you guys: this Ghostbusters VR we're seeing here, and the VR 2, which probably obviously is not compatible with the first generation PSVR. Is this going to sell any VR units? I highly doubt it.
This is going to sell like
VR units.
Yeah,
I think it's going to sell like 3 units. Like as my moderate, one of my members and my artist NTI, they're saying this looks like this could have been on PSVR 1.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like this seems fine for it is what it is. This just seems like this is not going to move anyone. Like 99% of the people that are considering the VR, this is not going to move that needle to go. We need to buy it. Now this was one I wasn't surprised we were going to see
the Resident Evil 4
VR.
Yeah.
Which I think they said in the trailer, like if you have Resident Evil 4 remake, you don't have to buy it, and like you're not buying the VR separate.
Mm-hmm.
So which is nice.
I had to look this up. I had this assumption immediately when you're talking about like why Ghostbusters doesn't look that great. Because it's a MetaQuest game,
Not surprised.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So like these games, that's the biggest platform for VR. So many of these games, like MetaQuest is sort of the target, and then it's like upscaled or maybe some extras for something like a PSVR 2.
Yeah. And we also got the announcement for Roblox, of course, coming to PS4 in October 10th. So
that's been on only PC and Xbox only for quite a while. And all of a sudden, now it's coming to PlayStation, which is big because that's a huge game for the young audience.
Yeah.
So. Now here's something this gives me this gives me a little anger here.
What's
this
that?
Should have been in the base game of RE4 Remake, the separate ways.
Yeah.
Like it's been announced it's only charging 10 US, which isn't too bad. But still, this should have been in the game. Or like, hey, a free update when this is done. This just seems to me like Capcom being like, okay, we know if we release this, put it at a low enough price, will get at least 2 million sales off this DLC.
Yeah.
Like, there's like,
Yeah, I still haven't played that one.
Yeah. But
like separate ways originally is not bad, and then like, ooh, the mercenary mode that's coming out free soon. I was like,
yeah. Okay, now this game has been, in development for years and years. I mean, Burley, I remember you and my first co-host on the Arena, of course, Dan, talking about this game, and it's finally coming to fruition. It's coming out in December. Third person, it looks like.
No, it's first person, but third person for like flight and I think probably riding other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your guys' thoughts on this? I don't know. I don't think I would buy this. I would probably get it if it came to like, it's gonna, if you have the Ubisoft service, obviously you're gonna be able to play it. But I would wait until this maybe comes to Game Pass or something.
I've been really hard on this game for quite a while, and this was the best look at the game I've seen so far. It's like I watched this trailer, I'm like, all right, it looks all right, I guess. It doesn't look as bad as I was thinking before. Visually, it looks a little better than I thought before.
I mean, the combat against the mech, the mech type of droids there. I mean, that was pretty cool. So
yeah, combat looked again less generic than I was thinking from the original outset. So like, we'll see. It's not something for me, even though I like Avatar, right? I thought Avatar 1 and 2 are really good movies, but I just don't want to play an Avatar video game. Just not what I want.
Burley?
The game looks all right. This is just not a game for me, to be honest. And like, this is because I streamed this State of Play where like, this is just going to feel like this is going to be Far Cry Avatar edition.
It's Far Cry Pandora. That's what it is.
Far Cry Pandora, yeah. I mean, it's where can they go with the story? I mean, it's like, but
you need Stephen Lang in this to sell this. If you come out and you got Stephen Lang, he's motion capping and he's got his voice, then I'm a little more interested.
And if you've seen the second movie, I mean, they could have done that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, December 7th. But
actually, I don't know the timeline of that.
Yeah. Okay, here's a Ghost Runner 2. I mean, I don't know. Ghost Runner, the first Ghost Runner game just drove me nuts. I mean, I love the style of it. I love the the cyberpunk type of world and all, but just running across all of those walls and everything. I like I was telling you about Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. It's like I had enough of it. So if you like running,
difficult too. Wasn't the first game quite difficult?
Yes, yeah. I mean, if you're into like just like running and trial running and stuff like that, that's that'll be interesting. So, what do you guys think of these new, of course, color mode models for the the controllers and the plates for the PS5?
I mean, it's nothing special. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you put it in the show, but like, more colors for controllers, great. I mean, that's everyone does it all the time.
Well, it's not even just that for the controllers. It's new bundles of the console like this with these, which is plates, fine. Yeah. But they spent so much time like here. It's just like, okay, you could have just come out and shown all three of them. Yeah. Just shown them like this and be like the Deep Earth collection instead of showing you're trying to go for all these fancy effects. Yeah. And it was like, I
mean, where's the new model of the PlayStation 5 that's supposedly coming?
Okay, this was one of my favorite parts because I loved the first Helldivers. I even played it on the Vita. But now this is in third person. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I think they showed a lot of combat in here. So, playing with friends, in multiplayer mode, it looks really good. I'm really excited for this one. It comes next year. So
I thought it was this year, or is that just
early next year?
A beta maybe or something.
So, but
this game actually looks pretty good. It's not my kind of game. I'm not going to play this, right? I don't play these online type of shooter things, but
yeah,
I think this has a lot of potential to be a success.
Yeah, and it's coming to PlayStation first. I don't know about if it's going to come to Xbox.
I think it's one of those like exclusive
for PlayStation at first.
Third party developed, but first party owned type games.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's something I will keep my eye on. I don't know. I don't see this as a day one.
I'm playing this day one. I'm sorry. This is like because I love like the Division and like those type of games and all, and I'm excited for this one.
That's neat right there. I don't think I've ever seen that in a game where the guy is like reloading the missile launcher for the other character.
Yeah.
It's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, there will be.
There it is again.
Yeah, there will be friendly fire kills in this game for sure. So yeah, and they show a lot of that in some of the trailers too. So there's a lot of friendly fire, but looks good. Yeah. I'm just wondering how many worlds you can actually go to in this game. So,
I mean, I don't know what the format of the game is. Like, are you dropping into like a zone on?
Well, it showed like a lot of areas on the one map you saw. So it may just be one because I don't know this world because I never played the first one. Mm-hmm. So it could be just one world, but you have so many different environments you're going to.
Well, there's multiple worlds, but I mean, it's basically you're in factions and you're trying to, secure perimeters and things like that. Like when it comes to aliens or other types of enemies. So,
yeah, this is the kind of thing that PlayStation isn't doing a lot of, and they probably should do a little more of. Is the like AA releases, and everything doesn't have to be this huge $100 to $200 million, first party, like amazing AAA game,
that's what they did a lot of in the PS4 era, and that's why they were so successful, so, and like with when it came to like Resogun and all those other games,
right, Resogun,
the stuff like that. Okay, here we go. Now, yes, all the different suits, Burley. You're gonna be able to choose from. I mean, from the comic books and from the movies and everything. I mean, yeah, this looks good, man. I'm really excited for Spider-Man 2. Thoughts?
This just had me. I was like, I already have the collector's edition of this game pre-ordered. This is just like showing me. Like I've been an Insomniac fan for years, a Spider-Man fan for years.
You get Brooklyn, you get Queens, yeah.
This is just being like, yes, this is something we needed to, we really wanted, because at this point it was like 20 something minutes in the state of play till you got to this.
And now you get the Spider-Man wings too. You just saw that. Yeah. So to traverse and
spoiler
to get
studios
to get through the city much quicker than before. So
yeah, and the thing I really liked to see in this was the additional map, the Brooklyn and Queens, because if you know anything about the city, right, New York City, Brooklyn and Queens are quite different than Manhattan. So that's great because it will break up a bit of monotony there is in the map of it just being like tons of like really tall buildings, right? Like that's not what you're gonna get when you're in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, no, it looks great for sure. I mean,
and the mechanic of you switching between Miles and Peter, and they said, doing different story beats and stuff. So that is really giving me something with like the replay, like just all the stuff you can do and get, and like they're showing they show a few villains in this. You get Kraven, you get Venom, you get Lizard. But from like the first game had a lot more than I expected. So I can't wait to see, like there's little references on the map to other villains. And it's like, I can't wait to see who we're going to get, who's going to show up. And like if you played at the end of Miles, they teased certain character from the first game coming back. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see if we're going to get that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it comes out in October. So was it the 20th, right? October 20th.
20th. Yep. Yeah. Same day as Mario Wonder. I got both pre-ordered, but Spider-Man takes the priority.
Yes, of course. Spider-Man 2 is going to probably take precedence. Yeah. I'm just interested to know if will you get those Spider-Man legs, like the spider legs on the back in the beginning, or if you have to work
like the Iron Spider like legs. The iron, that's interesting because this is the first time we saw that. It was in this trailer. I don't remember.
No, we saw it in one of the initial reveal because they were taking down some of Kraven's goons.
Okay, but they've shown it more.
The legs came out. They're more prominent in this and showing you them in the combat.
I'm curious about it because so like you get the Venom stuff, right? But like, how long are you gonna have the Venom thing? Because Venom's the bad guy, so you got to give up the symbiote at some point, right?
Right.
Well, I have a feeling. My prediction, because the first game was 3 acts for the story. End of first act is Kirk Connors and Kraven. End of Act 2, you give up the symbiote. Act 3, Venom.
Yeah, and the Iron Spider, legs is probably a power you'll get. Would you lose the Venom stuff, right? Because it gives you something else. You're not just like, oh, I don't have that anymore. I got nothing,
Yeah.
Now this surprised me because Tales of Arise came out.
What was this?
Yeah. Tales of Arise. They're just adding an expansion to this instead of, because a lot of the I shouldn't say a lot. Quite a few of the Tales games have the sequels, and like in the case of Symphonia, it had Dawn in the title. Tales of Symphonia, I think it was Radiant Dawn.
Yeah.
So they're just putting as an expansion and be like, here you go. You can pay if you want more in this. This is a game I didn't finish. I need to go back to, but it's like, oh, it's kind of nice to see that they're not just giving up on this, or they're going to be like, here you go. Here's the sequel we're making. Give us full price again. No, it's give us $20, $30. You're back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah.
And it's I like this game. It is a mobile, gotcha type game. But
originally mobile,
But it's turn-based. Well, they also put it on PC, so it's not just. This is one of those games where like it's a mobile game, but it doesn't feel like a mobile game. Like it's got a very high production value to it.
Yeah. Well, Carl, you're going to see a lot of games like that on mobile now and into the future, especially out here in Japan. I mean, the production quality are pretty high for them now.
Yeah, so. I feel like now you have a sort of AAA like mobile game, and this is one of them. Great for PlayStation fans to get to play it. I wish it was coming to Xbox, but who knows? Maybe one day.
So Tuil says this was the best new news of this state of play. Tales of Arise is a great game.
Tuil loves his action JRPGs.
Now this was something that this was a
Splatoon ripoff. Yeah.
Well, this was the grab the beer moment for me. Where I just want to get out of my seat and just grab a beer. This was a game when they initially showed this. Whatever the last state of play they showed this at was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, now we're not going to use paint. We're going to use foam. So the next game, what is it going to be? Oil.
Here's the good one. Happy Bath Survival.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Nani?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, what new, like chemical substance are we going to use in these type of games to sell them and do things like that? So
and how much are the costumes going to be? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be a free-to-play game.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? This is such a blatant ripoff of Splatoon. And the assumption that like people really want another Splatoon like game, I think is a bad one. Not that Splatoon isn't successful on Switch, but it's that audience, right? I don't think Splatoon would be that successful across multi-platforms, right?
Yeah.
Now that
And here you go. Here's the ending. Yeah. So the Final Fantasy Rebirth. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got quite a bit here, and this gives you quite a bit of scenes that you can expect. That, like, if you've played the original, you'll know these scenes that they're going through, which is nice, and kind of gives you an idea of how far are we gonna go, because it's looking like we're gonna get
for the third part of this remake.
Well, it looks like they are getting past disc 1 and going into a bit of disc 2. Quite a bit into disc 2. Which is nice. And you get Kate Sith. You got a snippet of him in the first game unless you blinked, because you could easily miss him, because he was in there for like 30 seconds. But I love this with the different chocobos. The segue thing is just weird.
That's really weird. Segues, yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, I wish I liked playing the first one. I just didn't, and I didn't like what they did with the story at the end of the game. So at least this does look like they're following more of the original story than I thought. I thought it was going to diverge more, and it doesn't really look like it.
Well, it diverges because they're making hints that Zack is still alive.
They are. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. Well, this is if you've played the original, they're making references to the flashback scene.
Yeah.
So just
it's a weird choice. I don't understand the choice of like having Zack be alive. Like I don't know. Like Zack and Cloud are like the same character very much. I mean, there's a reason for that in the story why they're similar.
Of course, they had to bring that guy back for Gold Saucer.
Yeah,
it's like seeing the Gold Saucer little mini games here, which I'm not going to do as much because I hated doing those back in the day.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so coming next year.
Yeah. This surprised me. We actually get the release date, and it's end of February 29th.
Yeah.
So, and then Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent, man, he's cool. He's just very cool.
One of the best party members in the game.
Yeah. And he was optional. I don't think he's optional anymore. But
he was optional, but he had so much story significance of the actual overall plot, if you know the story. But it was like, on 2 discs. One of the cool things they did do with this, they show after, is they announced if you buy the one, like some of the editions of this, you get the first game. So even if you hadn't necessarily played it, you want it, but you don't want to do 2 separate transactions, you get both. Like I know for the $300 collector's edition, I believe they give you physical copies of both of the PS5 integrate.
For $300, you should get the third game too.
Yeah.
Well, I still wish it was all one game. Make it all one game. I would have loved before.
There was some info that came out that said, the thing that I keyed on was that they said there's 2 times the amount of side content in this game versus the amount of main quest content. And that rubs me the wrong way because I played the first game and I didn't like that side content. And the fact that it's a second part of a remake of this larger game that we're not getting, like, can you just make the game like why you gotta add so much extra stuff? Like just make why you split this into three games, and because you keep adding more content to that, the original game. Like I don't like that, but I guess it's popular enough. They announced recently 7 million copies, shipped and sold. So
yeah.
But they're showing, like, they showed some summons in there that weren't in 7, like Alexander, for example.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you're gonna get the data fights you have to do with all that, so that stuff. I'm hoping with the amount of side content, because they're saying there's like over 100 hours worth of content in this game. And it's like, okay, hopefully we're getting some really good, meaningful side content. Like, because I agree, most of the side quests in 7 Remake, I was doing them for trophies.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing, not 90% of them were like, okay, I'm just doing it for this. They're like, for every one good one there were like 5 to 10 that were like, yeah, I hate doing these.
Now I have a question for you guys, just about the format of this state of play. Would you have rather put Spider-Man 2 at the end of the presentation rather than Final Fantasy Rebirth, or do you think they did the right thing there? Because if it were me, I would have put Spider-Man 2, because that's the big game that's coming next.
I would have had Spider-Man 2 open, close with 7 Rebirth.
Okay.
Personally.
That makes more sense. Yeah. Opening with that weird indie. I don't know about that.
That indie was that indie was such a,
which like I said, looks fun.
Yeah.
It could be a good game kind of thing, but like that just was like, that was like, why did you do this? I think Spider-Man was your better opener. That was because you want to keep people, like, I know they were like, people were watching, be like, I know we're eventually going to get Spider-Man. I think you would have been better. Do Spider-Man 2, then do some of your other games. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. But you know what? They pushed the PS5 hardware and showing of, here, we've got new colors coming. You know what they should have been doing and should have been pushing besides the games? You've got another device coming in November called the Portal.
Yeah.
Like, oops, what the hell? Like, this stuff with Sony, I just don't get. They're like,
watch, we're gonna get another direct like on October 15th, just before Spider-Man 2 releases, and they'll start showing the Portal off on it. I just want to say,
at that point, it's gonna be too little, too late.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I just want to say that PlayStation's not going to be at Tokyo Game Show, but this would have been a perfect opportunity for them to have Spider-Man 2 on the showroom floor. I mean, and with all the displays and all, because it's coming out. I mean, it would have just been huge for Tokyo Game Show if they would have done that. It's interesting how this state of play really didn't focus too much on Tokyo Game Show at all, really. I mean, it was basically, okay, these are games coming out later this year and into next year. So, yeah, I mean, it's a spoiled opportunity for them to where they could have put Spider-Man 2 on the showroom floor and had demos and the Japanese would have loved that, because, here in Japan, Spider-Man is huge. So,
yeah. And the thing is, Sony doesn't need to, and that's why they don't. They've just checked out of all these other showcases and events like
that's
Gamescom.
Hurt them in the future, though. I mean, I think you can agree with that. Yeah,
hasn't yet. So, like,
yet.
I think at some point it should, but it hasn't, and they're getting away with it. And maybe at some point they won't, and then they'll show up and act like, oh yeah, here's our grand return to TGS or something, and they'll make a big deal out of it. Like,
I only think they'll like Carl said, it's worked for them. They know they don't need to.
Yeah.
I think it's just more, they know if we release an event before or after one of these events, it works fine. Remember, they were the first to drop out of E3 years ago.
Yeah.
They know if they remember, they threw out their announcement, like Nintendo gave you like a day or two that the state of play was or their Nintendo Direct was coming. Sony let you know a couple hours before, the day before,
that was wild.
that their state of play is coming, because they know all they have to do is send out a tweet saying state of play tomorrow at 10 a.m. All of us are going to be like, there's a state of play. What are we going to see? What are we going to see? We're going to do all the marketing work for them.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the strategy with that is they're setting low expectations, and not in a negative way so much as like they know this isn't like a monster showcase, right? Mm-hmm. They said it themselves. It's mostly indies, VR, stuff coming from third parties soon,
and they're big game for the holiday.
Right, and the thing that they've showed a couple times already. So like, it's not you're not getting any big announcements, and there weren't. There was pretty much nothing that was a big announcement. The Nintendo Direct had bigger announcements, right?
Yeah,
in Nintendo world, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
State of Play is what it is. They've got it into this point where like what to expect. Unless it's a showcase, they're probably not going to have anything like that's going to like really blow you away. But you're just going to see a bunch of things that it's coming soon. And if you're a PlayStation, in the ecosystem, you're probably going to be excited about a bunch of things. But I find that boring because it is a blatant ripoff of the Nintendo Direct format. But it works. So again, can't blame them.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into the story on Unity because that's been the big story this whole week. And obviously there were actually there was a story about unfortunately death threats where some of the Unity offices had to be closed. I mean, it's gotten pretty out of hand, but I'll go ahead and throw the link to the story here in the topic of the show. So we're talking about the Unity situation. So it deals with this new runtime fee that the executives at Unity decided to throw out there. So basically tied to players' installations of a game. So this action previously didn't cost developers anything to do. And so it's basically a money grubbing grab from Unity here. And so basically with Unity's new plan, developers, and I'm reading from the Axios site, which I have the link to below here. So the Unity's new plan, developers who use Unity's free tier of development services would owe Unity 20 cents per installation once their game hit thresholds of 200,000 downloads and earn $200,000 in revenue. Developers paying over $2,000 a year for a Unity Pro plan would have to hit higher thresholds and would be charged with lower fees. And the new fee system will begin at the start of 2024. So almost every game developer has been rallying together against this. And a lot of developers are now considering, getting rid of Unity and jumping to Unreal Engine, which is one of the other big game development software packages. I mean, just another example of greed within the industry and trying to make another buck off of developers. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? And where is it going to go? Is this going to kill Unity, or of course Unity might have to make changes now, but is this like going to be a boom for Unreal Engine and some other engines out there? I mean, your thoughts. Carl, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to say because I don't know how much more Unreal Engine costs, right? And how much more developers have to pay in other types of, I don't know if there's royalty fees, things like that, or whatever they're talking about. But yeah, this is brutal and rough. Like the whole thing about like, oh, if you're paying over $2,000 a year for the Pro plan, like you get higher thresholds and charge lower fees, and like so, like you're saying that there's this whole elitist system now. Like if you're wealthy, if you're top tier, you can get better crap out of them. Like that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not what the little guys are getting screwed because their game doesn't sell as much, so like they have to lose more money when they should be probably the ones getting a bigger cut because they need it. I mean, and like even what's it called? Genshin Impact is a Unity game. I mean, what are they going to pay 20 cents per install on millions of installs? That's absurd.
Yeah. Earlier
How
thoughts?
do you track this? How do you monitor this? Because they're trying to say like, oh, it's it's not going to be like reinstalls and like I don't know, whatever. It's got to be like first time new installs or whatever they're trying to say. I'm not sure you're going to be able to accurately really track that. What if I install it on another computer or something, or another phone that's a new device? Like, is that going to be a charge for them?
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
No, this is just stupid. This is helping other engines. I'm sure. Unreal has gotten a little bit more boost in some of the other engines because it's like without having to do anything, it's just like, hey, sweet. Yeah, no, I think the higher thing with the like lower on the fees is just to attract bigger studios to be like, oh. Well, Unity, since some of our games sell in between the $2 million range, we could go here and save, I don't know, X amount of dollars. It's not right per se. Like it should be a thing for all. Not if you hit 10 million sales or whatever, you should be getting it way easier because like it should be. You should have stuff catering for people that. Hey, if they make a game, a guy works 5 years, makes his own game, he sells 50,000 copies, he's going to be ecstatic and happy. Shouldn't be like, well, you only sold 50,000 instead of 200,000. So fuck you, give me money. Like this is just like I can't even conceive that they'd be this freaking stupid to do this because this just seems like. Okay, we're not doing as well because I've heard Unreal 5 when it came out, the engine and all that. There's been a lot of people, and Unreal was doing a lot of stuff with more free tiers on there to get more and more people in. So, like, I'm guessing Unity is hurting a little on it. So, but it's like, why would you ever do this? This just, at what point do you think this is going to be good and not kicking the balls and backfire on you?
Yeah, well, so many indie developers have been speaking out on this, and I'll just read one of them from Among Us, the Among Us developer Innersloth. This person was speaking to IGN, and he also posted on Twitter. His name's Forrest Willard. He's a programmer at Innersloth. He says. He said on X, I bet Steam, Epic, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft will love having waves of developers pulling their games. Innersloth has always paid Unity appropriately for licenses and services we use. I'm not a discourse guy, but this is undue and will force my hand. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is the sentiment of a lot of these indie developers. It's going to force their hand and probably make them switch.
It does feel like a play from Unity, like, oh, if you have like an Among Us like big breakout hit, like we want a big cut of that.
Yeah, but like they have said, Unity has like they have said, I don't agree on the death threats. I just don't want to make that clear. Do not do that. What you do is you boycott Unity. Don't use it. Go to other engines and all that. That's how you hurt them. If you want to hurt them and not support them, that's what you do. For the Unity was saying like, oh, for games that are coming on like Game Pass, because I think Party Animals, one of the ones that's coming later to Game Pass, is on Unity. They're like, Microsoft will be the ones to pay us. It's like, you think Microsoft is just going to go to you and be like, okay, you changed your thing. You want us to give you $2 million. Oh, yeah, we're just going to hand you that money. Here, no problem. Microsoft is going to be like, oh, you're going to try that? Here you go. Here's our countersuit. Here's our lawyers. We're going to cost you more than it's cost than you could ever get from us. Bury you in legal paperwork. And like Unity
on Unity.
Pardon?
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of games on Unity. I mean, it's
many games.
And it's from what I heard from one of our guests, way back, he was saying that Unity is big on the Mac too, and most developers are probably using Macs to work on these games. So,
Darkest Dungeon 2 is also Unity, and the developers had a statement on Twitter, not happy, of course.
I think what was it? One of the crab fighting games. They said if this goes through, our game will be delisted, and you can thank Unity. They said, and it's like, yeah, that's all this is gonna do. I don't know. Did like Unity take new management, or were they just being like, our profits are going down. We need something to shake it up. Or we haven't screwed ourselves enough. We could screw this up faster. Let's do this.
Yeah. Obviously, it's something that wasn't thought through very well. They're probably thinking, well, we need to make a profit off of, this engine, that these developers are making a huge profit off of. So, but they just didn't, strategize enough of to how to come to tell these developers, look, we're going to implement a new system, and they just threw it out there, and it's just not the way you do business, and it's coming back to bite them, unfortunately. So yeah, so then Unity, man. We'll see. I mean, this could be a big boost for Unreal Engine now. We shall see, but it'll be interesting.
Unreal or any other engine out there right now, you do like if whatever your fee structure is right now, lower it just a small amount.
Yep.
And you just watch.
Oh yeah.
Developers are going to be shopping and be like, "Oh, okay, you're 10% cheaper than what Unity used to be.
Yep.
So we'll try you out for a year. Let's get your license. Let's start up. Let's port some of our games out of off Unity onto you."
And after all of that bad PR and everything that's been going on this week, I mean, that would just, that would be a big catalyst for people jumping ship and moving over. So
I think they'll have to roll it back, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting to do that, but it's too little, too late. Maybe we shall see.
Well, yeah. Anyone that's still on Unity, I think they're at this point. They're like, yeah, we're still on Unity, but behind closed doors, they're like, okay, where are we going to go? What's the closest thing to like Unity or better that we can work with?
Yeah. They have, these devs have to make strong statements, but the reality is switching to a different platform is a huge time sink. Some of these devs, some devs might actually do it. Most of them probably won't. Now for the next game, you got to believe they're not going to choose Unity.
Yeah. But for the games that they're already in development with, it's hard to.
It's a big ask. That's why they feel so hurt and screwed, because they know that they got them by the balls, because especially the smaller teams, right? They can't just be like, I'm just going to throw away years of work.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not completely throw away, but a lot of work, right? Putting in effort to getting it to run on that edge. You can't just drop it on a new one, and without years of effort.
In the conference room, I'm sure that was probably brought up, that we've as you said, Carl, we've got them by the balls, and they probably didn't use that term, but I mean,
we know Party Animals is coming out soon. Let's put this out 10 days before the release. Then we can just milk in that cash, baby. And have that Scrooge McDuck moment where we can just dive into a money pit.
Yeah.
Like every Game Pass download. We got 20 cents. Got him.
Yeah. All right.
Microsoft will just pay. They don't like money.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the topic of the show. And that was the biggest bit of news in the gaming industry this past week. So I thought we would throw that in there this week. So it's time to talk about our picks of the week. So you can go to releases.com, of course, releases.com for the week of September 18th through the 24th. So, and on releases.com, you can see the games for this month and beyond. So please go ahead and check that out. So I'm up first, guys. So I will show my pick of the week. So my pick of the week is Lies of P. So, yeah. Inspired by the familiar story of Pinocchio. Lies of P is an action, Souls-like game set in a dark, Belle Epoque world Guide Pinocchio on his unrelenting journey to become human. It's out on Tuesday, September 19th, so next week on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. And S, Burley.
Mm-hmm.
So
you go for all three endings?
I might, but then again, as everybody maybe knows, and I know Burley and Carl know, I am not the biggest Souls-like fan, and I love the styles of these games. The combat is fun, but it's just frustrating as all hell for me to play. But I do want to give this game a chance. I do want to play it. I mean, it gives me very, very Bloodborne-esque vibes when it comes to the art style. And just, the mechanics and the weapons that you can use in this game, it really intrigue me. So I'm really interested to play this. And it's on Game Pass, so you don't have to fork out, $50, $60, $70 to play this. So I'm really excited to see what this offers. It is not From Software, but it is, very, kind of like an ode to From Software in a sense. So I'm really excited for it. Liza P is my game of the week.
Yeah, I played the demo. I liked it. I'm not into these types of games, but I thought it was good and has a cool vibe to it. The setting, the character, it gets all a good choice. And they're definitely smartly capitalizing on the fact that Bloodborne does not have a sequel and it's not on PC. The Elden Ring is not Bloodborne, right? It's not. That one was like a kind of a different style of Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it does look interesting and all that. It's just what the style of game it is like, this is not for me, because these are the kind of games of you accidentally just press the button a millisecond early. You're screwed, and it's like I don't have that kind of time to be I spent 40 minutes getting the boss's pattern down.
Right.
Okay, that's one of 52 bosses I got to do to beat the game, and 3 different play. No.
And it sets you back all the way to the beginning. Yeah, I know the feeling, man. It's those type of roguelites in a sense. It's massively depressing, but fun to play.
Yeah, I think this will be a success. Reviews are pretty good right now. I think I said 82 on
82.
So yeah,
nice. All right, actually, Carl, you are up next. What do you have for us?
Yeah, I chose Party Animals. This is coming to PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series on September 20th. Fight your friends as puppies, kittens, and other fuzzy creatures in Party Animals. Plot out with your friends, both online and offline. Interact with the world under a realistic physics engine. Also coming to Game Pass. This looks like one of the fun little party games.
Yeah.
This is something I'm really looking forward to, because I can just see this being, for me as a Twitch streamer, this be a blast. Just me getting people from my community, jump in, and let's just sit and play for X amount of hours and just sit and have fun.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Fall Guys in a sense. So playing that. So
yeah.
All right, Burley, you're up next. What do you got for us?
Mine is Paperman Adventure Delivered. In the 3D platform game Paperman Adventure Delivered, embark on a journey through vibrant worlds to recover lost mail and vanquish a ferocious dragon. Take on the roles of 4 distinct mail carriers, each boasting unique abilities, and switch characters to leverage their specific kills or skills. Ugh. So this is coming on Thursday, September 21st to PS4, PS5, PC, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. I love my 3D platformers.
Yeah,
suck at them, but I love platformers. This game, because I figured I knew Party Animals and Liza P were going to get picked, so I was like, you know what, I will pick this. I like the art style.
Yeah.
I just think this game, I'm interested to see how it's going to come out and do.
It's going to deliver, Burley. It's going to deliver.
Yes.
There you go.
So yeah, out on September 21st. Yes. So yeah, it looks fun. Yeah, and I'm into the platformers too, Burley. So yeah, should be really fun. So fun.
Mailman, paper postman versus dragon. On taking bets.
Yeah. So you can go to releases.com to check out all of the new game releases for the week of the 18th through the 24th and beyond. So yeah, so those were our picks of the week. So next up, we've got some news about Game Pass Core. Game Pass Core, Carl, the core. Join the core.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got some news about Game Pass Core, and basically the games are going to be coming with it, the initial games. So what do we got?
All right, the full list of Game Pass Core games. Here we go. We have Among Us, Astroneer, Celeste, Dead Cells, Descenders, Dishonored 2, Doom Eternal Standard Edition, Fable Anniversary, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Firewatch, Forza Horizon 4 Standard Edition, Gang Beasts, Gears 5 Game of the Year Edition, Golf with Your Friends, Grounded, Halo 5 Guardians, Halo Wars 2, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Human Fall Flat, Inside, Limbo, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Overcooked 2, Payday 2, Power Wash Simulator, Psychonauts 2, Slay the Spire, Spiritfarer, Stardew Valley, State of Decay 2 Judgment Edition, Superliminal, Elder Scrolls Online, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, Unpacking, and Vampire Survivors.
Wow. It's a good list.
I must say, that is a pretty banger list of games.
Yes.
A lot of games that you can put a lot of time in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then some, ones that are sort of your more single player, straightforward, beginning to end sort of experience, like a Psychonauts 2, for example. But that's a, game of the year contender, like great game,
Yeah.
And you got Limbo Inside also, shorter experiences, but incredible games.
And if you want a great game to just get in for quick little bits, Vampire Survivors, cannot recommend it enough. You can sit there, like if you want it, you can get quite a bit done in like 10 to 15 minutes and have some fun, unlock stuff, and just keep going.
Yeah. I would recommend Gears 5 Game of the Year Edition. I love Gears. Gears 5 was awesome. And so, if you're into the Gears series and you haven't played 5 yet, go for it. And I'm hoping that next year, the year after, we'll get our Gears 6 announcement. So
you get this for $60 a year, and that's giving you your online multiplayer functionality.
Yeah.
So if you're one of the players who needs that for other games you might play, I mean, this is a great list of games that you should definitely check out in between, your matches of FIFA and Call of Duty.
Yeah. So that's Game Pass Core. So next up, of course, the games that are coming for the end of this month. So wave 2 of Game Pass and into October. What do we have, Carl?
Yeah, well, actually, I think there might still be a drop next Tuesday. So there might be some stuff we don't know about yet. So what we have that hasn't come yet is Liza P on September 19th.
Yeah.
But then we also have this list of other games that have been announced that we know are coming to Game Pass for October.
Yeah. So
I'll just run through that. We have the Lamplighters League on October 3rd, which is a game I'm looking forward to. Turn-based tactics style RPG. Then you got Warhammer 40k Darktide finally getting its Xbox release on October 3rd, delayed from I don't know what it was, was it November of last year? It was a while.
I think so.
Yeah. Forza Motorsport on October 10th. City Skyline 2, again, huge, October 24th. This Minico's Night Market, I don't remember even what that one was. October 26th. Headbangers Rhythm Royale, I actually never heard of that one. October 31st, and then Jusant on October 31st.
All right. So those are the Game Pass games for the rest of September that we know of. Like Carl said, there'll probably be another drop maybe next week. But that and into October. So
I don't have the time, man. I like Lamplighters League. Like I really want to play, but like I'm not far enough into Starfield. I still want to play Sea of Stars.
Starfield is
play Sea of Stars.
Yeah. Starfield is the game right now for me at least. Yeah. So
and then I got Persona 5 Tactica coming in November. And boy.
Yeah, that's Atlas. That doesn't matter.
Ooh.
I know someone will take me seriously on that, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that, Unicorn Warlord was like what next year? When is that? Like March, man. That's going to be bumping up on Persona 3 Reload in February. Like, am I going to finish that by then? Probably not.
Yeah.
You also got Tomb Raider. You got in February.
What? No one cares about. Come on.
Come on, you're not going to spend Valentine's Day with your wife sitting there really visiting some classic Tomb Raider.
All right. It's time for our programming notes. So obviously we also do entertainment and pop culture related content here on the Arena Productions. And this week was a big Star Wars Ahsoka episode. Of course, the return of Anakin was in it. Shadow Warrior, my recap and review, is up on the channel now. Please go and check that out. It was an awesome episode, and it was actually shown in some select theaters before released on Disney Plus. So please go and check out my recap and review of that episode. It was an awesome episode. And then Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 4, Episode 3, In the Cradle of Vexilon, my recap and review of that episode. And boy, oh boy, I really love T'Lyn, the new character that they've brought into this show for season. She was in the very end of season 3, and they brought her in for season 4, and she's awesome. So please go and check out my recap and review of that. It was really fun. And Tokyo Game Show is coming up next week, and we're going to be doing a live reactions to the Xbox event that's going to be on Thursday the 21st. So if any of you are up at 5 a.m. Out there in the West,
love this logo, man. It's so good.
Yeah. 5 a.m. out there in the West for you guys, 6 p.m. for me out here in Japan. But we're going to do live reactions to the Xbox Tokyo Game Show announcements and their showcase. So looking forward to doing that. And one more,
Square Enix better show up. Okay.
Yeah. And one more time, and I announced this at the beginning of the show, but next week, episode 146 of the Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, we have a special guest. Lord Cognito of the Defining Duke and Iron Lords podcast will be with us, and we will be discussing Starfield. So that is going to be a really cool episode. Really excited to have Cognito with us to talk about Starfield next week. So please, tune in for that one. So some really good stuff coming down the pipeline. So we've got the Tokyo Game Show next week. Makohari Messe and Chiba is going to be going crazy. Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond are going to be out there too. IGN Japan is going to be doing an event on the 23rd. So a lot of stuff going on, and then of course getting into October, as Burley calls it, Broketober. Got a ton of games coming out. Obviously, Spider-Man 2 is one of the biggest ones coming out. So really excited for the rest of this month and into October. So we'll be bringing you all the news from all that. So really excited to do that. So, and I'm sure you guys are still pushing on with Starfield, right?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So
doesn't even need to be said.
Yep, that's right. Yep. So I'm in New Game Plus now, and Burley and Carl, they're getting finished with the game. So looking forward to talking about it, especially next week with Cognito. So
I'm excited to find out what that is, but I'm not rushing there. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I should, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So this week, our indie recording artist spotlight. So at the end of every episode, we have an indie recording artist and an outro with music. And this week's spotlight is on Rock and Stock. Rock and Stock is a producer who got into music at the age of 12 when he first picked up the guitar. Having been making rock music for over 15 years, he keeps ahead of the genre's trends and always looks for something new to learn. From his album titled I Feel Good, and the song is called You Can't Stop Me. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 145. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you next week for episode 146, where we have Lord Cognito with us to talk about Starfield. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the outro. Peace out.